Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum. Third year class MBBS. Hope you all students will be fine. So today is your lecture in practical time. Today's short lecture, as your practical time is 1:30 to 2 p.m. Others, the lecture is on other cell wall synthesis inhibitor. There are certain miscellaneous groups which are left in cell wall synthesis inhibitors, which will be covered in this lecture. And inshallah, Dr. Nilofer will cover vancomycin and fosfomycin. So the learning objectives of today's lecture, what it describe the mechanism of action, spectrum, uses, and adverse effects of monobactams and carbapenems. Next, describe the mechanism of action, uses, and adverse effects of miscellaneous drugs as cell wall synthesis inhibitors. First of all, I will cover monobactams. The prototype drug in this class is estronam. Monobactams are given by IV route. They are eliminated via renal tubular excretion, and its half-life is prolonged in renal failure. So dosage must be adjusted in renal failure and renal insufficiency. The mechanism of action of monobactams, it is an inhibitor of cell wall synthesis by binding to a specific penicillin binding protein, and it shows synergistic activity along with aminoglycosides. I hope you all students and have understood what is synergistic activity. Synergistic means when they are given with a different group of antibiotics, their antimicrobial spectrum will enhance. Their coverage of microorganisms will be enhanced. Let's say they cover only gram negative rods. When they are given with different group of antibiotics, they also cover some gram positive organisms. Now the spectrum of monobactams, they are resistant to beta lactamases produced by certain gram negative rods, as they are resistant to beta lactamases which is produced by gram negative rods, so they are active against aerobic and gram negative rods. However, they show no activity or mm, minimal activity, perhaps no activity against gram positive or anaerobes. So when they are given with aminoglycosides, they may show some activity against anaerobes. Now the clinical uses of monobactams, it is used for treating infections against Serratia, Klebsiella, and Pseudomonas. It is the only beta-lactam that can be given to patients who are allergic to penicillin because they do not show clause allergic. They do not show the property of clause allergic with penicillin and cephalosporins. Clause allergic mean when the patient is having allergic with penicillin, they may show allergic as well with cephalosporins. But this group in cell wall synthesis, when the patient is having allergic either with penicillin or cephalosporin, other cell wall synthesis inhibitors may be allergic to that specific patient. But this group do not show the property of class allergic, so it is given safely to the patients who are allergic to penicillin. Now, the adverse effects of monobactams include certain gastrointestinal upset, which may include nausea and diarrhea, superinfection, most probably due to certain opportunistic uh, organism due to decreased immunity. Most probably opportunistic organism is Candida albicans, which may cause superinfection. And next, adverse effects is the vertigo, headache, and skin rash. Now, next group of drug are the carbapenems. Imipenem is the prototype of carbapenems. Other drugs which include in this group are imipenem, atapenem, and doripenem. Imipenem, it is rapidly inactivated by renal dihydropeptidase 1. As imipenem is inactivated by renal enzyme which is known as dihydropeptidase 1, so it must be given with cilastatin. Cilastatin is the inhibitor of enzyme which is known as dihydropeptidase 1. Uh, so it is given safely with cilastatin. Now the antimicrobial spectrum of carbapenems, they have low susceptibility to beta lactamases. They are administered sparingly. They are given by IV route. They have wide activity against gram-positive cocci, gram-negative rods, and anaerobes. With the exception of ertapenem, carbapenems are also active against Pseudomonas aeruginosa and Acinetobacter species. But methicillin-resistant strain of Staphylococcus are still resistant to carbapenems. And now the uses of carbapenems or the antimicrobial clinical uses of carbapenems or the antimicrobial spectrum. On the basis of the spectrum, carbapenems are the drug of choice for infections which is caused by Enterobacter, Citrobacter, and Serratia species. For pseudomonal infections, they are often used in combination with aminoglycosides. If there is pseudomonal infection, so they are used with aminoglycoside. They also show synergistic action with aminoglycosides. Now the adverse effects of carbapenems. Adverse effects of imipenem cilastatin include gastrointestinal distress, skin rash, and central nervous system toxicity, which may include confusion, encephalopathy, and seizures at very high plasma levels. Now next is meropenem. It is similar to imipenem except that it is not metabolized by renal dehydropeptidases and it is also less likely to cause seizures. So meropenem, as it has less adverse effects and is less likely to cause seizures, so it may be preferable over imipenem. Atapenem has a long half-life, but its a disadvantage is that it is somewhat less active against enterococci and pseudomonas. So in clinical setup, most commonly using drug is meropenem in what I have seen in clinical experience. And as you know that clinical recommendation is changing uh, with the passage of time. So let's see when you are will be in clinical site, which antibiotic will prefer. Now the next group of drug are the beta-lactamase inhibitors. Clavulanic beta-lactamase inhibitors are used along with penicillin, along with penicillin, which are destroyed by beta-lactamases. What are the beta-lactamase inhibitors? Clavulanic acid, sulbactam, and tazobactam. They are used in fixed combination with certain hydrolyzable penicillin. They are most active against plasma-encoded beta-lactamases. Now, the which organism produce plasma-encoded beta-lactamases? It is produced by gonococci, streptococci, E. coli, and Haemophilus influenza. So they show good activity against plasma-encoded beta-lactamases, while they are not good inhibitors of chromosomal beta-lactamases. Now, the chromosomal beta-lactamases are found by Enterobacter, Pseudomonas, and Serratia. So in these cases, maybe another cephalosporins or another cell wall synthesis inhibitors may be preferable in the case of chromosomal beta lactamases. But in cases of plasma encoded beta lactamases like gonococci, streptococci, E. coli, and H. influenza, they show better activity. Now, the next group of drug include bacitracin. What is bacitracin? It is a peptide antibiotic that interferes with the late stage in the cell wall synthesis in gram-positive organisms. Uh, the side effect is that the disadvantage is that the drug is nephrotoxic. As a drug is nephrotoxic, so it is limited to topical use. Now, your assignment for today is describe the clinical uses of carbapenems. You can submit it around about 2:30 after the lecture. Now, what is cycloserine? It is an antimetabolite. It blocks the incorporation of D-alanine into the pentapeptide side chain of the peptidoglycan. However, it is neurotoxic. So, due to its neurotoxicity, it is used to treat tuberculosis, which is caused by organisms resistant to first-line antituberculous drugs. Now the last group of drug, it is cyclopeptide with spectrum similar to vancomycin. It is active against vancomycin resistant strains of Enterococci and Staphylococci. The drug is eliminated via kidney. This drug may cause myopathy. So creatine phosphokinase level should be monitored as the drug may cause myopathy. So that's all, students. Today's lecture is short as it will be your practical time. So the other cell wall synthesis inhibitor include vancomycin and fosfomycin, which will be covered inshallah by Dr. Nilofer tomorrow.